Cassettes on Wingman of the Year. I could go on a ramble and shit, but I have some bomb-ass dudes, so let's talk to them. We got, to the right, although you're talking before the show, he's really to the left. We have John Hauldren, we have PJ Carberry, and this is Levity!
Let's go!
We're popping a lot of cherries tonight. This is their first podcast. This is our first electronic act, which is saying a lot because of the fact that I have a brother who's in the scene. And he's slacking,
One of our best friends.
Yeah. We will definitely cover that. But how you guys doing?
Doing well. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
So it's rainy Thursday in Iowa City.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have the rain that's coming this way. It's like beautiful weather. Did you have that yesterday, I'm guessing?
Yep.
We had it yesterday, but we got the rain today, and so it's been a little gloomy.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, okay, Iowa City, I know I obviously talk about you guys, but do you guys go to Iowa?
I did, yes. We did.
We both did.
We both did.
He graduated. I dropped out like my sophomore year just to like focus on music because school wasn't really doing anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated a semester early, so I was out. I was supposed to graduate like literally last week, but I graduated like last semester instead. So.
Oh, no, okay. Yeah, because I saw the Iowa City. I'm like, wait, like, because I know you're from Cali, you're from Chicago, so I was like, all right. I was trying to like guess. I'm like, it has to be a college connection somewhere, whether current or past. So.
Yeah, like who would from
exactly.
Two of the greatest cities, the two, might I say?
Yeah,
the two greatest cities in America. Yeah, who?
Hot takes.
Who would move from those places to Iowa just cause? It has to be the school connection.
Exactly.
Or maybe for the state fair.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a big state fair. Although I've never been, I've heard it's actually kind of crazy. So.
That's what I've heard.
The world's largest truck stop.
Yeah,
I've heard that too. Is that near you guys?
Like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time you drive to Chicago, you drive by it.
Right. Like the only thing I really know about Iowa is like Field of Dreams, the state fair. Like people give a shit about it January every 4 years, and
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's like, God, crazy. I know they do like deep fried butter, right?
Oh, they do like a whole. They deep fry everything at the state fair. I'm pretty sure you can find like anything you can imagine. I've never been, but I've heard that there is some monster deep fried stuff. They deep fry Oreos and like Snickers and
alligators.
We don't have alligators here, bro.
Maybe import.
Hey, maybe they ship it in and then they deep fry it at their state fair, but.
Right. Or just like the leftover lizards at Petco or some shit.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The ones that don't sell.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. Before a lifetime ago, I used to work with my dad, and we did like festivals and stuff. And I used to do the Minnesota State Fair for like 5-6 years. So I know they would talk about like Iowa there, but like different world. So Midwestern neighbors, I guess, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's question about you guys. So how did you guys meet? Let's break that down.
So freshman year, I had my roommate. His name was Bailey. And apparently, when everyone came as like a Friday before they went to the University of Iowa, John roomed with Bailey during like when
his roommate.
Yeah, my roommate. They roomed together when they were
just for like the orientation or not like
yeah exactly
orientation.
So everyone had to stay in a dorm for one night, and they were roommates. And then
we kept in touch a little, and then ended up on the same floor. Like we were on the same floor, same dorm, and then. His roommate was PJ, so like naturally we saw each other all the time.
And then basically after like the first month of school, John was my third roommate because he left our room. I have multiple Snapchat videos of him doing laundry in our room and everything. So it was basically our friendship started from there. And then I would say like the first time we met, it was funny because we started showing like I was playing music.
I remember this.
I remember like we were playing music in my room and I started playing like some like random songs that like I had on my iTunes or whatever, and John was like singing the words, and I was like, "How do you know these songs?" I was like, I've showed like my friends back home, like everything. I was like, they don't know these songs, and then John was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And then John started playing music, and I started like knowing all the songs that he was playing. He was like, "Wait, how do you know these songs?"
Yeah, songs that like no one else like would know, and
exactly. So we started like our bond kind of happened over music when we like knew or like each other's kind of like favorite kind of stuff, and we all like the same type of music, so.
Right, kind of like one of those like classic, like, did we just become best friends? Like,
yeah, exactly. It was literally looked at each other. Did we just go be best friends? Like,
that's dope. So, okay, so that kind of dives in. See, obviously, you both had passion in music already. how did you both kind of get into music? You can kind of break down each story if you want. Each you.
So I got like the Ableton, like, which for anyone that doesn't know, Ableton is like a program used to make music. I got like the like 1 month free trial, like our freshman year, and like tried it out, and like we sucked, terrible. But like, you know, we have even like a video of like some terrible beat we made. We were just like, this is so cool, and then like it expired. Didn't think of it. Had to work on school and everything, and then like, and then I ended up like not doing too well in school, and was just kind of like, dang, like what do I want to do in life? And I was like, and around the same time, PJ was also like thinking about like, you know, like what, and so like, but like we hadn't really talked about it, but like I remember I like one day I was just like, yeah, like I'm just gonna like get Ableton and like try it out, and then so like I bought Ableton, and then like it was over like Thanksgiving break or something, or like there was some break. There was some like, you know, like break, and we were like both separated, and I was like, yo, like we get back, like I want to like talk to you, and you just like, yeah, like same or whatever. We got back, and we both were like ready, coming into like have a conversation to the other one about like, yo, we should start a group. And so we're both like, oh dang, like we're both on the same page, like let's do it. And he had just gotten like a DJ board, and like we started DJ, and then I was starting to produce, and then like started like teaching each other stuff, and yeah, it was kind of like, and then a few months, like I think like March, that was like, you know, like November or like October, November of like 2018, and then in like March, I like between that, I like didn't go to class, I didn't even open, like I literally didn't like do any tests, didn't do any quizzes, didn't do anything, like didn't even look at my grades, just because I was like making music all day. And then like in March, I was like, holy shit, like, all right, like that's it. Like I'm just like, I'm gonna leave school and like just focus on music. Like I like, this is the passion. This is what I want to do. I know PJ feels the same. I was just like, I'm out. Like,
you guys felt so committed to each other that hey, we can make this work.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What about for you, PJ? Well, how do you like kind of your background music?
Well, so like when I grew up, I was always like just loved music, like just growing up, and my dad was a huge like music and influence to me. He never played any instruments, but he like, I remember we would always go like almost every single time I was with him. It was always like we were on iTunes, and we would just buy a whole bunch of songs, and like my dad was super proud that he had like over like, I think it was like 90,000 pieces of music like on iTunes type thing.
That's so much money.
I know, exactly. I know, a lot of money. We dropped a lot of money, but he was like, he was super happy, or like you just loved like hearing new music and everything. So I just got into it that way, like all different types of music. Like he wanted to be able to have like every artist that anyone's ever known, so he can play something on his iPod back when he had iPods and everything. And then like growing up, I know those are days. And then growing up, like my brother was a DJ. Like he like had like actual like vinyl turntables and like breakdance and everything. So I grew up like around that. Yeah, and so I always wanted to do it, and then I finally was able to, like he said, I finally got a like DJ controller, and then like right after I got that, we started like talking about how we wanted to do this, and like literally, I remember what was it, like 2 weeks after I got the controller or something like that. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks after I got the controller. I used to work at a bar as a bouncer. I mean, can you believe that? I'm like, this is I've never seen in my life, but I worked as a bouncer. And the guy who was like the manager at the place, I was like, he's the one who actually got me the controller, because he thought I told him I wanted to do this, and then like 2 weeks after I got it, I sent him a little mix that I made, and he was like, this is like awesome, like I love this. And then he was like, you guys should come down to the bar like on some random Sunday and play for me, and I'll see if you guys have it, like what you got, and see if you guys can play here. And then after that Sunday, we started like opening up at the bar. Or at the club, and then we started playing there, and then later on we kept going. So it's been
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's been a good ride.
You know what's kind of cool too, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like that you just have more of a passion of music from maybe a consumer standpoint, or like family and stuff. And then when you got to college, you're like, hey, let's fucking try it, right? Is that kind of what I'm gathering?
Exactly.
Wow. See, that's really awesome, because like a lot of times, I feel like there's people that are like prodigies, right? Like they're going hard at 3 years old, you know, like on their little tyke shit, whatever. But like, life kind of makes you feel like sometimes like, fuck, if I don't do it at 6, like why am I trying? So it's kind of sick that you guys be like, you know what, let's give it a whirl, and you actually have like a cohesive plan. I think that's pretty dope.
That's actually like, at first I was like a little scared just because like of that, like especially like when you look around, there's like I don't know, if there's a guy named Moore Kismet, and they apologize, they started at like 8 years old, I believe, and so it's kind of like intimidating to be like, dang, like
he's been doing it since he's
like 8. Life is getting more real by the second, and like they've been doing it since 8, and now they're like 14 or 15 and stuff, at like 7 years in, and like killing it and stuff, and still is like, you know, 8 years away from like getting to our age and everything. It's like intimidating, but like my dad, he started guitar at 18, and he like assured me like that
it's never
you
too
know
late.
exactly, yeah, it's really never too late. And there's like plenty of people like Diplo, I think, started around our age.
Favorite thing is he was a substitute teacher.
Yeah, he was a substitute teacher.
I feel like I heard that once. Or
yeah.
He's just kind of, not so much I didn't know the sub teaching part, but like 9 to 5, and he's like, yeah, we fucking tried.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's great. Because that's something, you know, like you said, you never think about that until you actually hear, like, you know what, you can do shit when you're older. Like, you don't have to be stuck in a box. So, okay, so here's the thing I have. So, John, have you grown up like Chicago your whole life, or that area?
Yeah, like north suburbs of Chicago, like whole life.
Okay, nice. And then you're out in Cali originally, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you feel, obviously, like you were talking about with like the mixing with your dad and like the music and stuff, do you feel like where you guys grew up kind of affects like how you look at music as a whole and what you do right now as a project?
Definitely. It's interesting too, like just like our like influences and everything, like a good example being like when we first met and everything, like, you know, I could like, you know, like obviously like we both love like, you know, like Kanye or like YG, but like YG is like his god, and like Tupac is like his god and everything, whereas like Kanye and like Biggie are like my gods and stuff.
Exactly.
And like I know all like deep cuts and everything, and like, you know, and like you can definitely it definitely like drives a lot of like even just like fashion sense, and you know, everything really kind of revolves around where we grew up, which is why it's like interesting to combine the two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, I told you I'd riff off the top. I have to say this. So, oh gosh, I'm trying to think. I was gonna go down like a Kanye rabbit hole, but maybe we just do like a rap one as a whole. Do you guys have like a top 5 or top 10 like dead or alive list, or like not that you have to be on the spot, like you know them by heart, but like obviously Biggie, you said Biggie and Kanye. What are some other ones? Because now I'm curious.
Big L.
Who?
Big L.
Big L, yeah.
I think Guru from Gangstar, which is like a group of like it's Guru's rapping, and DJ Premier, who's like probably one of my like all time like biggest influences production wise. Like they're sick. Then like modern day, like obviously like Kendrick and J. Cole, Tyler the Creator. Like my like number one obsession is probably like Brockhampton, so like all those guys too.
Oh, yeah.
But that's like just all around musically, not even just like for rap. But that's like a tough question, just because
that's very hard. Because
we're
like
very into rap, so like
that's like, why I retracted like the top 10 on the spot. I'm like, that's really, I don't know if I could riff it off. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can riff off a couple I like, but yeah.
Like especially from like the West Coast, like it was always like out growing up like listening to Dr. Dre and like all of his type of like all the stuff he made,
too.
And like I really liked Ice Cube, like even when he went off himself by like instead of NWA and everything like that, and like DJ and everyone. But like I think just like West Coast rap, a lot of the rappers like YG, as he said, like I remember just going. I think it was more because I got into it. I got into like YG a lot when I was in high school. We used to go to like the parties and stuff, and that was the kind of stuff that we played when we went to parties and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember there's like a couple things.
Look at this guy went to parties.
Well, I mean, it was like okay, so like everyone would go to parties, and they would all play like YG, and they would all play like they called it that where I lived was called the IE, which is the Inland Empire, and like so like everyone would just be like listening to that kind of stuff like at the parties and everything, and you know, and so that was like what I grew up on, like listening to, and that's like what I liked. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yo, speaking of a West Coast rap thing, I'm still pissed and like upset that like Nipsey left.
Oh, Nipsey, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like, I feel like, not that I knew his music a super ton, but like, if you look at his trajectory, I feel like he was really going to pop off.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
I mean he was already like one of my top favorites, and then sad what happened to him. But I was like, it's just great to see like that the whole city like after his death and everything like they all like actually like he meant something to a lot of people, and like he meant that like you can get out of like the area you're in because he grew up in Crenshaw and everything like that. So it was just like you can get out and do what you want. And he did a lot of good for like the
And
whole
make a
city.
change, yeah.
Oh yeah, make a change. Like he did a lot of good for everything, and like if you go to LA, you'll see memorials of Nipsey all over the place, and it's just he did a lot for his city, which is nice.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's just like damn, like he was somebody I was like, dang, like you don't want anyone to go, but like him, and I feel like the other one more recently when I listened to his catalog, I'm like, shit, that would just been such a great, like somebody that would really change the sound, like Pop Smoke.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He was another one. I'm like, fuck, like if he was like still going, it'd be great.
East Coast for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more East Coast. Yes, I should. Yeah, I knew that. I should reference that.
No, but I still love Pop Smoke, even though I'm from the West Coast. Pop Smoke is still a goat. So it's
Yeah.
always-
Awesome. So let's go back to you guys. Sorry for that tangent. I
No,
told you.
you're
Oh,
good.
no,
We
wait,
said
you're
Ye and Big. I'm like, oh fuck, I mean, growing up, like obviously I like Ye, I like Big. I mean, Eminem was in rotation. I really fucked a lot back then. Like T.I. and Lil Wayne, I fucking love.
Yeah.
T.I. rolling up.
I mean, that's just
Earlier,
so
like
great.
that 2010,
yeah.
the which era is your favorite? Like the earlier stuff, or like the early 2000s, or like 2010? 08 to like 12.
I mean, honestly, okay, so I graduated high school in 2007.
Yeah.
Give you some context. So, obviously there was some good mid 2000 stuff, but I feel like there was so much good songs like from 2008 to 2013. Like the amount of
I
raps
think-
were coming out were crazy.
I firmly believe that, and I've stated this before.
He has said this a lot.
2011 was like the definitive like peak of rap. It was the Watch the Throne album. I think that was like the peak of rap, and there's been tons of rappers that have like helped bend the curve, so it's not just like a fall down, but like I feel like everything was building to like that time period, and then like when like Kanye and Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and like we're all in their prime, and then also like Kendrick and J. Cole and like Drake were all like the young hungry like
Yeah,
rappers
Take
and
Care,
everything.
and nothing was the same right around then.
Yeah, it was
exactly.
like it was such like a prime time for rap, and then like since like different like styles got which we like, but like just aren't as like lyrical.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I like it, but a lot of it sounds similar.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember
Or
a few years ago,
repetitive.
people were, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Or it's just very repetitive. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's not like a lot of like lyrical like value or anything. Like like it's like fun to listen to. Like it's a great like distraction and like fun. Like like gives you a lot of energy or like stuff like that. But there's not like a lot to like think about, which like a lot of rappers usually would do well.
Try to do.
Right. I think like at first I remember people like in the elder millennial area. I'm more like mid, but there'd be like I can't understand mumble rap, and at first you think was it that, but there would be songs I listened to in triplet sequence, and I'm like no, I actually vibe with this, so it's not bad. I think what it is, it's like either the same themes or like it's like the same cadences. So it's like wait, like I could listen to like something that's like a little baby track that sounds similar to a Gunna track, which sounds similar to like. And that's the thing where me, it's like you can't. It's hard to deviate. Like, oh, that's that person or that person. Oh, but no, definitely. I will say, I think like that 2013, some prime stuff.
Yeah.
On time.
So okay, so back what you were talking about, we were saying that obviously your upbringing brings a lot of the style that you bring to your music. So what was the concept behind Levity when you guys said let's start this group? Did he have any like plan, or was it just sort of like let's fucking make music and be happy and then go from there?
It started as just like let's just make music just to make music, and then I think as it like progressed like more like what we kind of realized is like when you're just making music to make music, a lot of like whether you like it or not, like emotions or like thoughts or like morals or anything like that start to just like come out of you. And so then that's like when like a lot of like we could like sit down and be like, okay, well like a lot of this stuff is like fun and happy and supports like like open-mindedness and like and respect and
start developing like your sound. Like,
yeah.
like,
and so like then we could like kind of like identify like, okay, well like this is the way we're feeling, like let's take it in that direction.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense to me. That's awesome. I really think when you have a message for your sound as an artist, I think it really you'll understand it, but also like if someone's listening, right, as like the fan, like I definitely vibe with that.
Yeah, and like some advice that we were kind of given is like with like building like a brand or just even being like a musician in general, like you're always gonna like make your best stuff, and people like take in your work best when it's like true to yourself. Yeah. So like trying to be something you're not like really doesn't work. So we just kind of were like, all right, we're just gonna like be ourselves with this whole thing.
Not try to replicate anyone, just do what you want to do.
Have you noticed, whether it be through like experience or like, oh, this sounds cool in the song, has anything evolved since you started? Like some big involvement?
Definitely. I think in like maybe like September of like 2019, I was introduced to an arpeggiator, which is like when you have like a chord of like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes, and you can like make it so that it just plays each note individually and like but like in a row, and you can speed it up or slow it down. And when I was introduced to that, it like opened a lot of doors, and I just spent like a lot of time like trying to like creatively find new things I could do with that. And that now has kind of like
became
more
sounds.
Yeah, like kind of like almost like a signature kind of thing, but not like we like have to stick to it or anything. It's just something we like to do a lot.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense. Actually, that's a great transition. So, I noticed that sound. I'll be honest, we'll talk about my brother a little bit, but I was joking. Sometimes he'll do things, and I'm not the best with the technical stuff, but like, yeah, the way the boops here, it's like fucking right.
Yeah.
Not a little better, but I feel like the arpeggiator was being used pretty well on your latest remix, Delilah. Dude, that was fucking sick. I like a lot of the tracks you have, but that's just a tight mix. I just love the whole setup.
Thank you.
And you had, I just want to make sure I got it right. So Goodfella, it was like a collab remix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then it was the songs from Quiet Kid and Tinashe.
Quiet Child, yeah.
And Quiet Child,
yeah. You're all good.
I was like,
there's so many Child and Quiet, and like
Quiet Bison.
Quiet Adolescent.
Silent Child,
How did that go down? Like, how does that process work to get like, because give the fans at home a little context. Anyone can whip out a remix. That's fine. But what you guys did, and my brothers had them, other people have it, is it's like kind of like it's signed, like it's an official remix that gets like streams and revenue. So that's actually like a little more than your average just like chuck it on YouTube call today, which is awesome. So how did that process went down for you guys?
There's like a lot of different ways that can come about, but the way it happened for us was Goodfella like we were like friends with him and everything, and he texted me one day saying like, hey, like he went to school with Quiet Child, and who like made the original beat for the song, and he was like, hey, like Quiet Child, like one of my friends like has this song with Tinashe singing it, like he wants me to remix it, and I was wondering like if you wanted to like work on it with me. And so I obviously like was like yes, and this was over quarantine, and it was like winter break, so like everyone was like home like with their families, like so like it had to be done like over Zoom, and like we were so excited that like the first like literally I think the next day he like sent the acapella, we hopped on Zoom, and he and I just like banged out the first like from intro to like the first drop, like the first minute and a half or whatever of the song. And when we had that first drop at the end of the night, it was like 6 a.m. and we were just sitting there like repeat, and we just like knew we had something super cool. And then the next day we were just like all right, how quickly can we get this done? And from there it was just like every day we'd like meet up or just like send it back and forth and like bounce ideas off each other. And then I think within like
it was quick.
Yeah, I think like within like a few days or something, it was like the song was like ready to be mixed and mastered. And then like I was like kind of busy at the time, and like and I do a lot of like the mixing and mastering and stuff. So I think it was like about like a week or something to mix and master it. So we had the whole thing done like within 2 weeks, like ready to go. And
which is like very fast turnaround.
Yeah, which was nice. And especially like when you have like an opportunity like that, it's it like really motivates you and just kind of like puts you in go mode, and like the creative juices just flow, and like it's a great feeling. You don't eat or sleep, but like other than that, it's just like adrenaline and serotonin keeping you moving.
Fuck yeah. And what's cool is, or let me ask, I'm more curious, is when you're going back and forth, is there a way you decide, like with like Goodfella, for example, or whoever you're collabing with, like, okay, I got like this riser and use the drop, or do you just kind of let it happen naturally?
It's sort of like, you know, if I send him something, like it's like kind of like take over full control, and then like he'll like send it back, and then I'll be like, okay, I like this, I didn't like that. Oh, actually, we could change that with this, and then like, but there's a lot of also like talking during like, oh, like, you know, you send it back, like you'd say like, all right, I was thinking like, you know, 20 seconds of like, you know, maybe a little more like ambient, you know, kind of thing for this section, and then like for drop 2 we should have like a lead and like a melody, and like, you know, it'd be cool if we had like this or that. So there's a lot of like communication during it too, but it is a lot of like, at least for us, we like to tell the other people like just like do whatever you want, because like to be kind of like creatively like limited is that like you're not gonna get your best work out of that. Like I'd rather like give somebody to someone and they like change everything, and then like we can take the parts that we like or whatever, than to be like, you know, do it this way, and then they're less creatively, you know, have less creative options.
Right, that makes sense. And how many, like, I think I saw, is it like over 400,000 streams it has right now?
Yeah, it hit 420K recently.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a good number.
Yeah, it's a great one.
420 or 69, those are the ones.
Yeah, we like within the first like I think week or few weeks, you get to like see every stream as it comes in.
Oh yeah.
So like we had like in our group chat with like Quiet Child, Goodfella, and us, in the first week we were at like 60,000, and like within like a few days, and we were like, yo, like we need to catch like 69 420. Like it's gonna hit 69,420. Like we need to be ready. And so it got to like 68, and we were like, it was averaging, you know, like whatever, like maybe like 10K a day or something. So we were like, all right, like it's gonna be in the next like few hours. So like we were all like, we're like sending updates, like all like had our phones ready, and the second it hit 69 420,
screenshotting,
and everyone like took a screenshot, sent it to the group chat. We're like, let's go, like let's post it.
Yeah, you put in your story, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I remember somebody. Yeah, that's all. That's fucking sick. You almost like are shitting bricks probably. You're like, fuck, what if it skips? So we got like trigger happy. It was like, 422.
Yeah, exactly. Because it does skip sometimes. So that's like we were worried about that, and then
we were like, hopefully it doesn't just go over like the exact number we want. It's 420. But luckily, I think we got it right.
Yeah.
Or at least one person got the screenshots. That's all that mattered.
Right. So I was looking at your catalog, obviously trying to do research here. So it looks like one of the original songs you guys have is Paradise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I saw that, and then I saw some other ones on your SoundCloud. That was kind of more of like your remix catalog, is that right on that?
Yeah, like I think we technically only have one original out right now.
Okay.
Because like I think every time we start working on originals, it's like someone will hit us up asking us like to do a remix, or like we get like really inspired by a vocal and just like hit them up and be like, hey, like is there a chance we could remix this? You know, like, give us a shot. And so we have like a lot of original stuff in the works, and like the way it's kind of panning out, it's probably all just gonna hit in the same like yeah, exactly. It'll kind of be like original, which like we're definitely super excited for, especially because like the remixes are super fun and are like great exposure. But we're definitely ready to get more originals out.
Yeah.
Right, and I'll skip around on the questions a tiny bit. So, yeah, do you have kind of like a timeline in the next, like for this year with different originals coming out, or are you kind of waiting to see what happens with the summer and everything?
The biggest thing is finding vocalists. That's like the hardest thing, because like we're both very picky with vocalists and with like songwriting in general. But songwriting is like, any skill or talent or anything where it takes like a lot of hard work, and you mess up a lot to like get to the point where you can be really good. So like neither of us are at the point where we can be like amazing songwriters, but that's what's holding back a lot of originals. But like once those all get figured out, we have another official remix, which in our opinion is the like best song yet.
Yeah.
That's hopefully coming out in the next like month or two. And then after that, hopefully an original that we're just looking around for a singer for. And after that,
it's kind of up in the air. We have a lot of stuff in the vault.
It's like just, so close to being done.
It's just we need vocalists and trying to find it, and also just taking the time to like write the song and like write the lyrics down with them and like be able to get be able to work with them and get like the right ideas out so that it actually like portrays what we want to portray like through our music and stuff. So like we had a time where we were talking vocalists like every day for like several weeks, and then everyone just kind of got busy. So like hopefully we can get back to that going pretty soon, so we can start rolling these originals out and stuff. But it just takes time trying to find this kind of like good vocalist that we like and stuff.
Especially when you're small and like don't really have like a leg to stand on. Like we have like millions of streams and stuff. Like singers would be asking us.
But you know, like the ones asking singers to be like, can you hop on this?
Yeah,
exactly. Please?
You know, I honestly think that gets overlooked a lot, and the reason I have a POV of it and have sympathy for what you're talking about is because of Tristin. Like he had a phase where it was like he was doing a bunch of just like vocal chops, and it was it was like that era of like Wait and Crazy. He had like 4 of them, and I was like, hey, how's the vocal thing? And he was like, it's always hard. And I would try, I remember back then it was kind of before management for him, and I was like, I'll look for stuff. I'd Google and things, but it's hard to find somebody that's going to, want to do it with you, have the interest. So I totally get it. I think that gets overlooked because I think people just look at music and go, oh, yeah, everyone's singing. There's American Idol and The Voice and shit. You'll find somebody.
Yeah.
But there's way more hurdles to actually achieve getting that done.
Yeah, and, finding, the perk, because, when you, make a song, you kind of, have a vision of what
it's gonna sound
exactly.
And
it's hard to find that, there's at least for us only a handful of singers that we've ever found that can
want to work and have them on songs so. And then it also there's only a handful, so it makes it very hard. If one of them turns us down, we only have only a couple more that we want to have on the song. So
right, because you have a certain sound, a certain concept for a track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I wanted to blend in with that question though is there's obviously a different approach between original and remix. Is there any observations you notice? Okay, we're doing a remix. We kind of start with, you said, maybe the drop first, or a certain vocal will hit us the right way. How does that process work for you when you're doing more of your remix stuff?
For remixes, it's honestly we try to make it as different from the original as possible, and which is why it's kind of fun remixing a sad song or something, because we can we can make it happy. And so usually if I have the opportunity to not hear the original song first, then I don't. I think I did a remix for Your Brother, and they sent the song wasn't released yet, and they sent the stems, the vocal, everything, and they sent the song so we could hear it. And I literally just didn't even open the song, just took the vocal so I could hear the vocal and just picture around it what I want it to sound like, as opposed to
bias,
hearing what it sounds like
interesting.
first.
Okay.
So then the end product ended up being just completely different than what the original sounds like. I remember listening to it after and being dang, that's just super different. It's just a completely different vibe, completely different feeling, and song in general.
I love that remix. It's really cool, the contrast to it. It's holy shit, this is dope. Little backstory. I don't know why. Sometimes life gets busy. He never really told me that there was a remix dropping. So one day, cause I have the radio for him or whatever, and it popped up the song. It was the first one. It must have been when it dropped. And I'm like, wait. Hang on. And that was before we started chatting, because I kind of knew of you, but not full blown. I'm wait, I think these are your friends, right? They did this is legit, it's on Apple and shit. It wasn't a SoundCloud thing. Yeah, no, legit. Holy shit, that's cool. I was bud, you got remix. That's a cool little notch to the belt. Yeah, but no, I love how I like both tracks, but I love how airy and it's like a kind of like this airy vibe, like kind of like happy-go-lucky. I really dig it.
And that's like one thing that like we like to try to do is like if you can listen to both songs in like different different moods that you're in. So like say you like the original, and then like say you just want to like listen to our song because you want like more like upbeat or something like that. Like a lot of times we try to like at least like speed up the song a lot more than like the original because we want to bring like a more upbeat and like happier like side of it instead. And, like try to just like completely change the mood of the song. So. But we like both songs are great, and you can listen to them both like in your free time. Then like say you want like a little more upbeat one, or you want like a little more chill one. You have both the options. So.
Mm-hmm. No, it was great. Yeah, that's so cool, and I like the fact that you kind of just went in and be like, no, give me the just the acapella, and I'm just gonna fucking do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Because
right.
like I hear it first, then like when I'm just listening to just acapella, which is like how a remix starts usually, it's just like listen to acapella and like kind of fill in the blanks in my head, and. So if I hear the remix first, like I'll start to hear like melodies or chords or sounds that they use or even drums. So like it's really nice to like just have a vocal and not like just have like full range of like creativity and just let the mind run wild.
Right. No, that's fucking sick. Actually, great plug because you're talking about happy thoughts. Show the hoodie. You guys got merch drop. Yeah.
Yes,
sir. Sold out.
Yes, sir. Sold out.
Sold out. Awesome. And is that like a one run, or are you gonna try to do another run,
or? So this is like our old, like our current logo that we're gonna we're changing, and technically it's changed. We just like have been like
out officially.
Yeah. So this was sort of like for all the people that have been rocking with us for like the last 2 years or whatever it's been, sort of like kind of like a gift, like a thank you of like. All right, like, if we end up being successful or just wherever we get, you'll always have this to be like, I was there at the beginning.
Before they changed their logo.
Yeah, that's like the OG, yeah.
Exactly. It's the OG logo, so.
The day one.
Yeah, the day one tickets, we like to say. So.
Well, we won't do anything like this again, but we're definitely going to be doing more merch, like probably later this year, and especially do like some tie-dye stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'll be sick. Yeah, the reason I wanted to bring up the plug is because one of my questions is one of the things that I really, your aesthetic that hits me is like how vibrant your pictures are. Like fucking love it. Yeah. It's just like something like you're scrolling through and you're like pop and like hey yeah. Is that just intentional with your happy vibes, or is that like have you always been a sucker for that kind of filter on the images?
Yeah, like kind of both. Like I grew up like my parents were both. Like super into, like Grateful Dead and like Pink Floyd and the Beatles and Fish and everything, which like had tons of colors and tie-dye and everything. So like I grew up around a lot of like colors and have always loved that. So then when I like got Lightroom to just like mess around with editing, just trying different things and seeing all like the different things you can do with that and like colors and everything, it's sort of just like having it's like keeping up with like social media isn't like that fun, if we're being honest. So like getting to like just make it more creative and like kind of represent us as well, because like trying to make the music very colorful just felt right. And like I said earlier, like just like being yourself and doing like
what you want.
Yeah, it's just kind of like how to make like the best brand or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting you said that point. It's so true. I feel like social media is kind of like a necessary evil at times.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially I do for work. I do like IT, but I also do like digital marketing at a car dealership. And it's just like you just kind of go through the motions. So when you kind of mix it up a little bit, it's like, yeah, you know what? Add some spice, add some flair. As long as it's especially true to you,
Exactly.
And then we started like once we started doing that, or like we started to try to like do those colors, and we're like, all right, let's like restart our Instagram so that we can like get a whole fresh slate on how we want to like kind of brand our not brand but like show the world on how like what Levity is and like what we want to show the world. So it was like now if you look at our Instagram, every like 3 pictures, I don't know if it's like that right now.
Yeah, like it's like we're doing like every 3 pictures it's like a different
color.
Yeah.
And then it switches the next 3 pictures on the next
So sometimes it gets a little bit off, but then it's just like
that's pretty sick. So like they have kind of like the same color vibe, but there's different angles. And then it's like okay, another 3.
It's like like all yellow, like vibrant, like yellow and like purple, and then all like red and green
yeah, exactly.
or whatever, and then like blue and this, and
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So, well, before people, I get to the next question. This is Streaming Cassettes, Wingman of the Year, get your shows, your body, merch. Fucking promo, just doing it.
Yes, sir. We love it.
You gotta do the promo. So, obviously, live shows got fucked up with COVID, but I have to give you guys credit because, from my understanding, you guys actually kind of put pedal to the paint with like some virtual shit, and now you're doing some live shows too. What did you guys kind of do during the pandemic, and kind of tell me like how you were doing the live sets and shit? 'Cause I definitely saw you at least do like 3 or 4, right?
Oh
Yeah, we at first we were like taking like anyone we got, and then it just got to be like a little much, like to like because like the quarantine we realized was like a great time to focus like on production and like grow a lot in that area, and so then we started being a little more like picky with like which ones we did, like whether it was like for like a charity or for like a friend or something like that, but they were all super fun. It just like felt great to like get to like play for people, even though like it was virtually.
Yeah.
And
even
like
though you can't see them, and like you were just like standing in front of a camera.
It's a little scary.
Like, yeah, it was a little scary. Like especially because like you're just standing in front of a camera and you can't tell. Like you want to give like the crowd who's watching back home like all the energy you can, but it's also like you're just staring at a camera and you can't like feed off any of the crowd's energy. So you're just kind of like. It's very scary just looking into a lens, and you're like, hopefully they like this, because like we can't see.
Playing for no one is a lot worse than playing for like hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I think you'd rather play for like the 2 shy kids in the corner than nothing.
Yeah.
You at least feel the room and be like, okay, I get loud because it's like an environment built for performance. When you're in your bedroom, it's like
a little different.
You got the little green light staring at you. You're
exactly.
like,
oh, I don't know. Just fist bumping the whole time.
Right. Did you ever get into like a certain zone in your head, like, okay, I'm gonna get excited? You're thinking a certain thought, or like, how did you channel yourself to get like that show energy?
I think it was like, to get like the show energy. I mean, me and John like love just playing music and like just DJing by ourselves.
Kind of like just alone.
Yeah, just alone. Like we just kind of like, even if we're like just practicing or just DJing, want to DJ. Like me and him will be acting the same exact way almost as we do us on stage, because we just like the music that we're making, and like we think, and then, but it's like you want to give the crowd the feeling that they're there, like watching you like at an actual performance. So like we would try to do anything we can, whether we would plan like a little something on this drop where we kind of like do something in like sync. And a lot of times we're like, me and John just know the song so well that we just like randomly will just do something and then all in sync, and we're doing the same exact thing at the same time.
We look at each other like, wait,
what? How do we do that? And it's just like, you want to be able to give the crowd, and like, especially it's hard when you don't see anyone, but you know that you have to give them, because even though they might be watching their living room or just on their phone or like whatever, but like you're just giving them the best thing that they can watch, and like make you remember you for your set instead of like someone else that went on before you. So.
And that's the thing too, like just like for live and for virtual, like we've been to a lot of shows, and like when like an opener or even like the main act just kind of stands there and turns knobs, like it gets really boring. Like you're there for like a show, like the performer should put on a performance, and that's something that we like really respect in a lot of artists that do that, like make a show like a performance.
Yeah.
And so that's like what we try to do, like play live like beforehand, or even just the random moments during where we like have planned out, like, all right, like like you'll mouth these words and then I'll mouth like act it out, or like we'll do like kick and snare and like pump our fist.
It's funny when we think of it, like we'll be practicing or whatever, and then it'll be like, oh, it'd be really cool if like I sang this and then you sang this part, and then I did this and you did that, and then like then we'll come back together and like camera like right here or something like that. And then like that's a time where like a lot of times we'll get feedback from like friends that show or whatever, like, oh, we loved when you guys did this. We're like, oh, like nice, like we planned that, like
makes more fun for us.
Oh yeah, because we have stuff to do instead of just like staring at the camera, and like we have like an act out something and like show something to the audience. So
fuck yeah, I mean that's what's cool about the live shows, the fact that you can have that energy and work with each other and be like, you know what, fuck having to worry about camera. But this is my other question to you. So it sounds like, did you actually do live shows before COVID? I know you're newer together, but you did. Okay. So do you have any memories when you perform live? Like anything that comes to mind? Like this show was amazing, or like shit like that?
Oh yeah.
We've had mess ups. We've had funny things happen on stage. Yeah. We've had like goofing around on stage. We've had just like amazing moments and just like great times, like crowds that were just super great. And
I would say like literally our first show, our like first actual show, which we were able to open up for was
Two Friends
in Madison, Wisconsin at Liquid. It was like this bar down there. So our first like actual show that we got to like open up for a big name, and I remember like we played our set and we're like the openers, so like
it was like sold out.
Yeah, it was a sold out show.
It was probably like mostly full. It's like a 750 like cap venue, and like I think it was mostly like just about full at the time.
Yeah, so like we went on and we played our set and we had like so much fun on stage, and we would like do like little things, and like we would take turns where like John would go down off the CDJs and everything and go to the front and like, you know, interact with the crowd and go like this, and then I'll be in the back and stuff. But I remember getting off that stage like right afterwards. It was our first big show, and I literally was like, me and John were like just shaking. We had to go outside. And we were like just shaking.
I was like I was pretty much throwing up. Yeah. Like in the middle, like this is like an alley right next to like a main street, and I was like pretty much throwing up.
And I was like just shaking, and I was like, I feel like I'm on every drug in the world because like I'm on an adrenaline high off of this show we just.
You feel like I felt like terrible and amazing. Like I had to like throw up at the same time. I felt like happiest I've ever been.
It was insane. It was like just.
I felt tired and like I had a ton of energy. Like it was like every like opposite emotion at the same time.
Yeah.
Did you say that was your first show?
That was like our first big show. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Like that's just a great way to be like, yeah, we're fucking doing this. Like
Yeah.
And actually, something funny that happened was someone jumped up on stage and was dancing around, and security in the back like called like and was like, yo, like, there's a guy on stage, you know, security gotta get them off.
And they took me off stage.
Yeah, PJ was like off to the side, and they grabbed him and started pulling him off, and I was like, oh shit.
I was like, no, like I'm playing the show. Like he was like, you gotta get off stage right now.
I had to sprint over to him and be like, dude, like we have the wristbands.
I was like showing the wristband, and
we're together.
They were like trying to like yank me off stage because they got some random guy who jumped up from the crowd.
Because that guy had left.
Yeah, he already left, and then so I literally got yanked off stage, and John like runs over. He's like, no, and I'm like trying to show my wristband and everything like that. But yeah, I almost got thrown off the stage at our first show, so that was pretty fun.
That's a harsh reality. We're like, okay, I'm considered the degenerate by society.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, what the hell's this shit? What'd I do?
I totally forgot about that.
So
I literally almost got yanked off stage. That was funny.
Holy shit, that's so cool. Now obviously didn't you guys do a live show over the weekend?
Yeah, that one was just me, just because like PJ was in Nashville for family.
Yep.
But that was sort of like a intimate club, which was like a lot of fun, just because like, you know, like the bigger shows like that, like the Two Friends one or like Funks, it's like you play what you want, they'll like it, and you know, people have a good time. You're like elevated above them and everything. But like intimate little club shows are super fun too, just because like it just feels like a party, and you're just playing like house music and like. Yep. You know, everyone's having a good time and drinking. Like, it's a lot of fun. So that was fun.
I wish I could have been there, but I was with family seeing them. So
that's how it goes. That's what's nice about being a duo, though, is like, you know,
if like one of us is doing something or like we can't be at a certain show, like either one of us will get
tag team it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So like we can always throw down at least.
And when it comes to shows, like, you know, of ones that he could miss, like a club, just like having fun, like, you know.
Yeah. I was like, I wish I could be there.
Big like opening for Two Friends, or like, you know, anything like that.
Like, wish I could have been there, but it was also like I had to go see family, and we had a family reunion over the weekend. But I was like, John was like gonna kill it anyway, so I was like, we're gonna be fine.
It was a ton of fun. Like people's energy is like just so much higher right now, just because like people have been fiending for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I know. I was jealous. Like, fuck, I need something like that, you know?
Yeah.
I was for our network, and we went out to Hampton Beach. It was like April, and that bar didn't care about masks, and I was like 10 beers in. So I mean, I tried to be good, but I was like, fuck it. I was like, woo, and I was just my pinky was sore. It was like a low ceiling, like your show, and I was just punching the fuck.
Yeah.
And they're like, you gotta stop, and I'm like a happy drunk, so it happens. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Okay,
like,
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Wall above you.
Oh, I'll have to send you the vlog. We were like, we were like the owner of the network. He loves Mr. Brightside, and he was fucking going off singing that karaoke. It's the most ridiculous thing. But it was. It's like this year long of like pent up, like just I don't know. It's sadness. Obviously, we've grown through the pandemic, but just like wow, euphoria.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Like just for us, like we've missed shows and like festivals and stuff like that. Like we just want, like we can't wait until we're able to go back to a festival and be in that environment again and just have like live music and like being able to like, and even for us, like even to perform the live music for everyone, like we've missed that too. Because again, even playing in front of the camera is great and stuff, and everyone still gets to hear your stuff. But just being there, like in person, is completely different. And like it's just like you feed off the energy a lot more, and it just makes it that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give you guys credit before I ask the next part of that question because I've had, we've done probably 27 episodes. We've interviewed probably like 14, 15. Of the people that we've interviewed, you're probably like 3 or 4 that actually did live virtual. Most people just like shut down and acted like, oh, okay, I'm just waiting it out, which that's a valid answer. But the fact you're like, no, I'm going to take the most of this and fucking make it work. Like, kudos to you.
It was like a cool, like not a cool time. It was a weird time where like, everything was kind of halted, and like where a lot of big people were like, that are like kind of not doing a whole lot anymore, like are sort of like transitioning out of the music scene. Like, the next, like everyone's going to move up a level. And so like it was a really interesting time for like a lot of people that are like down low to like prove themselves and like work hard and like get a bunch of music out, get themselves out there and kind of like prove that like when things come back that like, they can be ready. And that was like, it was cool to see for like everyone, honestly, like just kind of like see like who's working hard and who's not, like in like a hard time.
It was like for us, like we just wanted to play and like get our name out there to as many people as we could. And so like with these like virtual festivals, like even with people watching, it was like, all right, well, we get to be in front of these people like that are at their house, but that probably wouldn't even heard of us beforehand. But now they get to see us at least perform a little bit and hear what we got going on. And like we've made a whole bunch of fans just from doing like some of these virtual sets. Like people like would DM us, be like, saw your virtual set, like that was awesome. We're like, oh, thank you so much. And if we never did that, then they probably wouldn't know who we are. So it was good to just keep like that silence the entire time.
That's fucking sick.
Had a lot more time to work too. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I know the pitfalls of fucking Zoom. No, but that's awesome because what I was gonna say though is you had that, and then I'm pretty sure if I'm right, I saw you guys get on some big ass posters with a bunch of names. So what you guys got? You got some shows coming up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got like I think we have like 8 or 9 within 2 months. Yeah. Like for June and July, I think we have 8 or 9 shows. And then after that, we have like our 2 first festivals, like a month apart. We're playing Summer Camp Music Festival in Illinois, which is cool for me just because like I never went to that one, but like that's obviously one of like the bigger festivals in the Chicagoland area that everyone would talk about. So that's like super exciting. And then we're playing Cosmic Kingdom in Des Moines, Iowa, which like both festivals, their headliners and tons of people up and down the whole lineup are people that we're huge fans of. So
it's kind of crazy seeing our names on the same lineup as theirs. So.
Exactly.
Right, especially because none of us take a poster and keep it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, we will.
Who are you looking forward to see at that show?
The summer camp one, Grizz, for sure.
Grizz would be definitely
Grizz
awesome.
is like one of our favorites in Rez as well.
Yep.
And then Cosmic Kingdom, LS Dream, and Liquid Stranger, and our boy Malachi. Shout out Malachi.
Fuck yeah. No, Grizz headline. So I was gonna say, I kind of wish there was like festivals around here. We've had them before. We had I'm 30 minutes from Stratton Mountain where they ski, and they had a couple years -0. The festival's like a skiing one. They had like in Tahoe. They did
nice.
in Vermont. Yeah, it was literally like on a ski mountain in March, and they had like Grizz and they had like Jazzu one time. I think who else they had? They had a few different people, but the reason that it was kind of interesting too was there's one guy. You probably I don't know if you heard of him, Pierce Fulton.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, he grew up around here, but like he did a couple of sets and stuff. My brother told me he recently passed away, unfortunately. But Yeah, he would do shit, but I remember Grizz being on the lineup. I'll have to look and see who else did the headlines, because I was like, holy shit. Like some decent... Oh, Dead Mouse did it one year.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Yeah, which was kind of crazy. And then the other festival that was decent was Camp Bisco, and that was like in the New York area.
Yeah, Camp Bisco's awesome.
Yep, which I think is like a BA right now, right? I think.
Yeah,
They moved it, I think.
Is that in Scranton now?
Yes.
Right?
It used to be outside of Albany, and then they moved
it's
it to
like
Scranton.
crazy.
Yeah, that's like where the office is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Go
Doug and
under
Bill
Mifflin.
Mifflin, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So that's pretty sick with the live shows. I mean, that's something where I don't think Tristan's done that yet. I told him like, yo, I want a poster and he getting one. So
Yeah,
Not
New
bad.
Mexico's like a totally different
Yeah, exactly.
scene.
That's why, and we're just glad. We're moving to Chicago fairly soon, so we're happy we get to go to Chicago and be in that scene and like be able to play some shows hopefully out there. So.
Oh fuck yeah. So yeah,
So-
actually that's a cool thing. So when are you guys heading out to Chicago?
July 1st.
Yep.
So in,
next month,
Yeah,
or not?
like
I mean, very
almost
soon.
a month.
Almost a month.
Holy shit.
yeah, definitely pumped.
People making money moves out here.
Yeah.
Not much money, but we're making
Yeah.
moves, I guess.
You know what? Positive thinking. I'm hoping for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll skip around here. So we're talking about it. So yeah, like Tristan's moving tomorrow. So how did
Yeah.
you guys meet him? 'Cause I don't think he ever told me that.
So, our friends, the Lost Boys, who are now Coastal, they
Yes.
dissolved that project and are now Coastal. Check out Coastal. Also check out Two Man Embassy.
Crazy.
They were doing during COVID. We're doing like live streams of doing like demo feedback, where like you would send in like a demo and like they would listen to it on the stream so everyone can hear it and then give feedback. And like I was friends with them at the time, and hadn't met a lot of like their friends and everything. So, but like all of their friends joined in, and like I had a lot of songs I made that like I don't know, I hadn't shown many people, and like wasn't like, oh, like I was like, these are sick, but like, you know, they're not that good, whatever. And then like submitted to their stream, and like everyone in the like you know that was watching like in the chat was like going crazy for them. And I remember like all the like your brother and all the members of Two Man Embassy were in there like oh my god, this is sick. And like I think Blake from Two Man Embassy hit us up and was like, like you know, DM me after this or whatever, like and so like I DM'd Two Man Embassy, and it was like Blake running it, I think.
Yeah.
And we talked for a bit, and then exchanged numbers, and Blake and I like became closer. And then after the remix was, you know, was released, started like talking more to Brad, the other, the second or whatever of Two Man Embassy.
Good old Brad.
Yeah, and then
Brad.
and then like as you know, like Tristan's a little more like reserved and just like
exactly.
quieter, you know, until he opens up, and then
What's up?
Then he knows not to stop talking.
Then he doesn't
Yeah,
stop talking.
exactly.
You just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
And then I think, like, you know, we would all start to FaceTime, like, Blake and, like, Brad, like, you know, all three of them would be on a FaceTime and, like, bring us in and just be like, and we'd, like, talk and everything. So then started to talk to Tristin more. And then, like, through that, just, like, we became close with, like, all three of them, like, and now all three of them are, like,
all the time.
yeah, and are, like, probably our best friends in music right now.
So
And
cool.
forever and ever.
And ever BFFs.
I was always curious because, like you said, that makes sense now with, like you said, Coastal Lost Boys. And real quick, you're talking about when they were doing those like Twitch streams and you're submitting music.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched a couple of those. Okay, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have like kind of like you said that little group of friends. Like there's like not little, but like there's a group like there's Coastal, there's like Daniel Allen, there's like different guys in the group, and then like they're all like Cali. So like okay, that makes sense. Like LA. And then when you start talking to you, it's like Chicago. Like, oh, a little spicy,
Yeah.
a little different, you know.
Exactly.
That's fucking sick, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
then you were on that one time. We were playing that game where they like guess the geography.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
when
yeah.
like we met you. Yeah, like that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like every night we were like doing
Always
like just like
talking
on
something.
FaceTime, like work during the day, and then like at night, like be like, this is what we made today, and then
Yeah.
like exchange, and then like yeah, like that like geography thing. We're just like try and guess the location.
Yep.
That's dope. I mean, it's so
That
cool.
was
Like,
fun. We all got to do that soon.
Yeah.
I'm fucking down for it.
Yeah.
I know. It's funny. I'm probably gonna try harass him more when he's out in LA. Be like, yo, let's talk some more.
Yeah.
Like before he was at his diner job, so he had like different
Yeah, exactly.
So actually, I did have a deeper question with that. Besides being my brother, so having friends like in music, do you feel like that kind of builds off energy to like kind of improve your skills? Like, what's some of the perks of having that like those type of connections?
Honestly, like
There's a lot.
there's so many perks to having friends. Like, like people that like like obviously like our friends that we've made before music, like we're still like close with. We still have like a lot of like common interests, and we're still like really good friends with. But like when it comes to like musicians and stuff, like we all have that like crazy passion, like obsession with music, and like that like most people don't have. And so like we can bond really well over that, and like all these different artists, and like even just down to like technical things within production, or like there's a lot of weird like feelings and stuff of like, oh, like some days you feel like you're not gonna make it, and then other days you're like, you know what, if I work hard enough I'll make it. So like everyone goes through the same kind of shit, and so it's nice to like bond with people over that. But then aside from that, obviously like just like we got like the good the Quiet Child Tinashe remix came through like a friend. There's shows that come through friends. Like there's we share a lot of like different things we learn, and like different sounds we make, or like different ideas, different tips and tricks, like with friends. Having like friends in music is like just the greatest.
It's also just like any job and any profession, it's kind of all about like who you know, and like what your connections are, and who, and like how you like are able to make connections with people, and like use, and not use them, but like, and like just like use each other to like help you and help each other
when you
grow.
like believe in someone, like like when you like we're only friends with people that like we believe in, or at least that we just get along with.
Right.
And so when you believe in someone and they believe in you, like you want to do anything you can to
help
like
each other,
to boost each other, because you want to like you're going to make it to the top. Let's say you want to go to the top with your friends.
Right.
So like it's nice like helping each other out in any way anyone can. It's just like that's like the biggest thing, honestly, is having friends.
Right, and I think sometimes on the outside people look at it as like a horse race or some competition. And sure, there's probably some friendly competition, but it's good to have. I think it's more of like a open, happy family, really. I think
exactly.
People realize.
Yeah, like because like when someone's like, instead of being like, oh, like Two-Man Embassy like is like doing this big thing, and we're just like, but why are we doing this big thing? Instead, it's like Two-Man Embassy is winning, like we're winning too, because like that's our friends,
friends,
like
friends, like
it's like when you see your friends win, you feel like you're winning too.
Completely.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I like that. That's why and I thank you guys. Obviously, I'm not wrapping up the interview, but the fact you did this interview, it's awesome. Like that's like something.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
This has been fun. I like this.
Good. I'm glad. So this is how I transition it as best I can. So with obviously being into happy, music as a whole, how do you feel about the climate of music? Right, you got people TikToking, like dances, whatever. I love TikTok, but like you got that. You have streams. You have like virtual shows. Where do you see like the state of music now, and where is it going to go like in this reopened world?
I think it's really interesting because like a lot of the people that right now, like our whole friend group and like everyone that's kind of at like our level of like, we're not like touring and all this stuff. We're out like up and comers. It's like a lot of the people that we looked up to, they grew and like did everything in a completely different like era, where like it was a lot more genuine, and like it was a lot of people, like all the YouTube pages were just kids in college that just liked music and would hear something good and post it. And like everyone had a lot more control, and then those people got big, and like a lot of like different people that were a lot more genuine may have like realized like, oh, there's some money in this, like this is like a career in this, is like and now I can like charge people to like be on this YouTube page or be in this playlist, or like, and then everything kind of changed. And like it's interesting because it sort of moves in cycles like that, where like now the people that feel like they're getting like fucked over like want to make a change and want to make it more genuine. So now like there's a lot of people right now that are making new platforms and trying new things that like can help the little guys. And So it's like it's it's a lot harder in a way. Like obviously like back then it was hard because it was like a totally different kind of thing, and but like now it's just like a different type of hard to like progress because there's a lot. It's a lot more like connections and
exactly.
like
who you know,
like
and,
yeah
like,
and
how
like
you
money
do
and
this.
all that stuff. So it's interesting. It's like as much as it is like kind of like scary almost to be like dang like oh like there's a lot of like roadblocks. It's also like cool to get to like be in like a wave of people that are like young, hungry, and looking to change the way things are to be more genuine and less like saturated. So like it's definitely cool to be part of that like era and wave.
And it's just weird with like the new like media, like social media platforms like TikTok and like all that kind of stuff. Like now, if you look at SoundCloud, like I'm not saying SoundCloud's dead, but a lot of people don't go on SoundCloud as much as they used to, or a lot of people don't find the music on SoundCloud as much as they used to. So like,
Right.
and so like it's kind of hard. Like in order to be like found and like people to become like a bit like someone that people know, you got to be on like the major streaming platforms instead of just like, and which is kind of hard for the little guys because it's very hard to just get on those streaming platforms like by itself, and then let alone like being able to get playlists from Spotify and stuff like.
It's very saturated.
Yeah. It gets like I would in my master's class we were talking about it. Like almost 650,000 songs get uploaded to Spotify every day, and so it's like in order to stand, you have to be able to try to find ways to stand out from the crowd in like those ways. And so like and like
and
now,
just get in the algorithm
yeah,
too.
getting the
Like,
algorithms.
the
and,
greatest song in the world can get 0 plays,
Yeah, exactly.
and the worst song in the world that's under a label and has like connections and money behind it and like all that stuff can like Spotify or anything like that they can push it out to everyone. And like the old saying of like if you listen to a bad song enough times it starts to sound good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
the same thing with TikTok. Like TikTok, if a certain song or a certain like sound blows up, then it now becomes like one of the biggest songs or whatever in the world. And like
now labels are after
and
them,
now labels are
trying
after
to
them
get
and everything. But it's like that song might even be that good, and there's other people making better music that just wasn't able to capture a dance to it or something, or like.
Right.
So it's kind of like there's a little more barriers and stuff, but there's also like with TikTok, there's another opening for people to just put music out, and so like it's just the way you look at it. There's good sides and there's bad sides, but I think that it's gonna work out, and like with streams and stuff, it's just a lot harder to make like money. You don't get like the actual revenue you would from like a physical mechanical like sale. So
Right, it's almost used as like a promotion for like let's say live or merch.
exactly, because like
yeah,
the most artists now, you don't make your money through stream or like through streams. You're making your money through ticket sales for your shows and merchandise that you sell. So it's like it's kind of the other way around as it used to be before when people buy CDs and whole albums and stuff. So
Right, yeah, it's interesting. I feel like you said, there's genuine artists getting recognition on TikTok.
Mhm.
Not so much like an old man on my porch. I don't mean it this way, but it's funny because you could have like the best fucking 15 seconds, and the rest of the song could be really like underwhelming. But you have that moment, and then people just listen to their car like and like oh yeah,
there's
Yeah.
the part.
And
There's
then
the part
like-
of that video I saw.
and then they listen to the bad part enough and it starts to sound good.
Exactly.
Like
right. And that's just a funny thing because I think before it's like okay, people would listen to the whole song, and now it's like you just need to have a freaking like ad lib pull off.
15 seconds exactly. That like if those 15 seconds can be good enough for a good video or a good dance or whatever, then you're good. And the rest of the song, people are just gonna listen to because they just want to hear that little portion of it. So
Right, and I think that's what's interesting. I can see it where like another year or two you might have some clout that way. And just like YouTube, right? They had like flash mobs and other things that went viral. And now it's like, okay, it's not often you have that. There'll be another thing that will pump out, virality or organic, growth. Here's a question for you before we kind of do like the wind-up question at the end. Where do you see, I feel like electronic music in the last couple of years has been in a weird place. Not in a bad one, but I think because it's very much a direct connection to going live, right? Like your ultras, your EDCs, like you want to be out and enjoy the music. Like it's a very like physical connection to the scene. So I think last year you didn't get a lot of stuff that blew up unless it was on TikTok, right? You had like the, I always butcher his name, but Emma Beck remix of Roses. Or like, then you had like kind of the Surf Mason cover of I Love You. That was kind of the vibe of electronic. It was like these sort of either like TikTok things or just sort of like these redo covers. Where do you see like that scene going? Where do you think the sound's gonna be, or maybe just like overall like the direction?
I think like Europe, Europe will always love like that, like a Mombeck or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like kind of like slap bass is what they call it, like sound and like the more poppier sound.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think that that a lot of like people are trying new things right now, and I think that like honestly that'll kind of be the future of that. Like there's a lot of people that like because like when EDM like started branching out into like the different subsections of like house and future bass and dubstep and everything, like those people were doing things, and then a new generation took those things and like
changed
and got creative with them, and then a lot of people started to copy those people. And now that that's happened, and we went through a phase of people copying other people, I think that like the people like us and our friends and everything that grew up listening to those artists are now trying to take like their sounds and expand them in like completely different ways or combine them in ways and everything. So I think that like as time goes on, like it's just gonna be moving in and out of phases of like really unique music and
then people try to copy that unique music to
exactly.
sound like it, and then it becomes saturated, and then everyone's like, well, now we need to switch it up to be different.
Right.
So it kind of goes like little cycles.
And then you wonder, I wonder, like I feel like peak like festival electronic was like 2013, 2014. Right?
Yeah.
That was like that peak like Swedish House Mafia, early Zed, like, and you wonder like if that will come back almost in a weird nostalgia way or not, because right now, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of people I really fuck with. I like, sometimes Tristan will joke I'm kind of a basic bitch of music, which I don't mind. But like I've been really vibing on like that Joel Corey sound. Like I really like that lately. I'm trying to think what other ones as well, but like yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of almost you guys might know better, but it's kind of like a Loud Luxury. Like it's a down tempo, but it's almost like built more pop bass, and it's like tighter. Like it's not like these 6 minute songs are a lot like quick 2.5 minutes or in and out. What's that called? That like what Loud Luxury kind of does? Like what's that subgenre technically? Like down tempo or
like because they're like Loud Luxury is a lot more like housey. It's like it's sort of like pop house, poppy house. Like,
okay, is that what it is? Yeah.
There's definitely like a comeback of like some of that earlier like 2000 and like 12 to like 14 kind of stuff of like I feel like there's a lot of people like either making stuff similar to or kind of like going backwards to take that sound and evolve it a little bit, like of like RL Grime and like that kind of like trap and everything, which is like cool to hear. And I think that that's like doing well right now, but I feel like a lot of that won't like. I think that there's gonna be a lot of other music that's gonna like kind of rise up as well, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, I mean the biggest one I've talked about on the show in the last few guests is like this kind of like resurgence of like 2000s pop punk sampling. Like that's huge, and I wonder if that's gonna bleed into like electronic or not. Like obviously, like you have these kind of riff-offs, or like Olivia Rodrigo, like will do that, or like what MGK did. Like, so you see that. I'm just curious where that's going to evolve to. Like, that's another one.
Yeah, it's cool how, like, honestly, there's not many, like, cases so far where, as long as it's done tastefully, there's not many cases where, like, you blend two different genres or subgenres and they don't, like, work out. Like, there's a tasteful way to, like, blend all these genres. Like, even, like, Lil Nas X, like, with, like, country and rap. Like, if you, like, a few years ago said, like, yeah, imagine we made a country rap song, like, people would laugh at you. And then, like, one of the biggest songs of the year a few years ago was, like, was just that. And like
that's a great
I feel like it's cool seeing like people try to tastefully combine like every different genre together.
Yeah, you have a good point with him, because even though it was overkill, I feel like that concept was done way cleaner than the only other one you could think of, like growing up. Like Tim McGraw and Nelly did a song, and in my opinion, that one's like kind of a snooze fest. So if that's your gold standard back then versus like what Lil Nas X made, I was like, okay, this is way fucking different. Like, this is a lot cleaner to mash these two up.
Yeah.
Like, also with, like, the state of music, I'm just excited to see, like, all, like, some of our friends and, like, people that we listen to now, like, they're making completely different stuff than, like, what we have heard before. And it's, like, really cool to see, like, how that evolves and how that's going to evolve into, like, maybe that's going to be the new sound VDM, like, just, like, certain things of, like,
yeah,
And so it's like it's always cool to just see how music's evolving and like how people are changing certain things, and then it's like, well, maybe this is gonna catch on, and now that's gonna be like the new sound that everyone's gonna be trying to recreate, you know? So it's just
cool to see like labels being interested in it too. Like all of our friends that are making like cool music, it's cool to see like, you know, like people that are in the industry that are like you know, that their job is to know like, okay, like we can sell this, you know, like it's cool to see them like, you know, hearing it and being like, yes, like that's it.
Right, like the corner's turning. Before they probably wouldn't like touch it with a 10-foot pole. Now it's like, oh, okay. Like this actually is something that is relevant, something that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome. So yeah, kind of the final big question, besides obviously promo for you guys, is we always ask at the end, you know, anyone who's starting out music, right? There's like so many questions. People may not know where to begin. What's like for each of you or whatever, how you want to do it, but 3 to 5 pieces. What's some like piece of advice you'd give to somebody that's like starting out making music?
If I had like a lot of time to think about it, I could probably
list off a
like
bunch.
I could write a book on it. But like just like every little thing that I've learned so far, and it's only been a few years, but like as we talked earlier, making friends is gigantic.
Yes.
Like, but be like genuine with it. Like, cause people can read bullshit and everything, you know. Like, so like we're not friends with anyone that like we would only be friends with to like get something out of them. Like we're only friends with the people that like we actually want to be friends with, and then through that, it's just like everyone just helping each other.
Yeah.
So like making genuine friends just like just has too many benefits. But then also like working hard. Like getting, like when we first started, and I think when most people first start, you kind of like see the lifestyle of like someone that's, you know, big, and you just kind of like, that's what it is. It's just like partying, having fun, and like, you know, like, and you don't see them like working, or when they are working, like, you know, it's like a quick, like, oh, like they work for a little bit and then they just go like have fun. And like when in reality, like they work hard for that. And like, this is advice that like some people that, multiple artists that we look up to that we've had the pleasure of like talking to or hanging out with have like told us and like kind of like, you know, nailed into our heads is like how like at that early stage, like the work you put in is the work you'll get out. So like, you know, if you put in an hour a day, like you'll get out, you know, an hour a day's work. But if you put in like every single day, every single, you know, waking second that you have alive that can be used to make music, like you will do incredibly well. And like obviously we don't do that. Like we don't have like not every waking second, but like try to like, you know, it's a lot of like commitment and like you know, be willing to like sacrifice a lot too, like, you know, lose friends or just like kind of fall out of touch with friends just because like you have to make choices of like, you know, saying no to going out and hanging out with friends so that you can work on music.
Right.
And I would say just like persevere, don't give up. Like even though you might think that you're not doing good, or like something like one day you're like, I don't think I'm doing good. This sucks. I can't do it. Like the longer you like keep pushing through it, the better you're gonna get, and it's just gonna. It's like it's not gonna happen overnight. It's a process. So like just keep with it, and you'll be like set as long as you just stay with it. So like. It's not as long as you persevere through all like the bull crap that everyone wants to talk about, and like you think that you can do everything, like it'll be good.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say I forgot I can cuss on this bullshit. Bullshit.
Also, yeah, like the feelings that like something that we've learned is like you feel a certain way of like, you know, whether it's like doubt in yourself or in your music, or like you think that you're the only one that messes up. You know, you just hear an artist like finish work and you just like hear about like their good days or their good times, but like everyone goes through, like every single artist that we talk to goes through the exact same shit of like kind of like what PJ said with like, yeah, like you're going to like doubt yourself at times. There's times where you're going to feel like, you know what, this isn't it, this isn't worth it because I'm not going to make it. There's times where you think that you suck, and there's, you know, you see someone making a great song and you think that they also don't have weeks or months of making bad songs, but like everyone goes through the same shit, even like Skrillex or like Diplo or deadmau5, like everyone goes through the same stuff. So like, you know, take your time and just go at your own pace and it'll all work out.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Love what you do.
Sound advice. I love it. But dude, I think the one thing that I always try to look for, like the thing that sounds different from everyone else, is definitely, like you said, having the friendships, having like those bonds. Like that gets overlooked, you know, like just you like kind of dapping up with somebody that's on like open mic at a bar. Like that'll fucking help in networking, especially nowadays. You have so many ways that you can do it. It's just so cool.
Yeah, like people will ask us like, oh, like how do you get shows and like how do you get like remix opportunities and stuff, and we're just like
friends.
Nothing special. Like we just like met a guy, we have a lot of common interests, we started hanging out, we started talking more, we became friends with them, and then they offered us, a show, or they offered us a remix, and then like same with us, like we have like a show, and we're like, let's do this with like one of our friends, like that'd be fun. So then we asked one of our friends to come play with us, and like all those like. It's like funny being asked those questions because like about like how did you get this or how did you get that, because it's like it's literally just our friends, like we're not like doing something like crazy special or anything. It's just like
right. You're not like okay.
No downside.
I know a guy in the alley, and then
yeah,
exactly.
We saw a dude in the alley, sent out 1,000
like,
emails, and like was knocking on this door for 5 hours a day. Like no, like sometimes a lot of times it's just your friends, and like if you're able to make genuine friends in the music industry and like with like artists and stuff, like you're gonna help them, they're gonna help you with like anything.
Yeah, just out of like love and support, not even out of like getting
I'm
something
getting
out
something
of
out of this. It's like, oh, if we're gonna play a show, like we'd want our best friends there. And
yeah.
They happen to be music people too, so why don't they come play with us?
You do enough shows alone to be like, let's do this with one of our friends. Like that'd be fun. Like
yeah. Fuck yeah. Well, guys, this has been awesome. How can people learn more about Levity for you guys individually? Like how? Yeah. Where's your world?
Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, Facebook,
all of it. Just
at levity.music on Instagram. Is it Levity Music?
I believe so. I should check right now. I look up Levity on like Instagram, Levity Music
Spotify.
on Instagram, Levity on Spotify, Apple Music.
It's like the last time I went scuba diving while eating Captain Crunch.
Same.
I love it. Plus, actually, if you didn't get that whole mishmash of names, all their links will be in the comments.
Yes.
But I love the artistic representation, so.
Stay on the lookout for...
we did not plan that, by the way, earlier.
That was fucking deep.
Stay on the lookout for new stuff coming out. We got lots of shows coming, so we'll probably be posting.
Awesome music, too.
We'll be posting about those. We'll be posting about our music dropping. But yeah, be on the lookout, and we'll be letting everyone know who is following us on all social media what we got going on. So if you guys want to know about that, you go follow us, and we won't let you down. Promise.
Beautiful.
That's a lot of pressure.
I know, right?
We will not fail you.
We will not fail you guys.
Awesome. We'll stay in post, guys. I'll chit chat with you for a bit. But yeah, this is it's your boy Max, Streaming Cassettes, Wingman of the Year. Get your shows, merch. Yo, check out the latest vlog coming out. They went, Hunter and Chris, they went to a fucking exorcism. Dude, we got some wild shit on this network. It's crazy. Yeah, one of our guys, he does a show called Winging It. They talk about the random people, and there's this dude in New Jersey, and he's like, he does exorcism. He's like a demonologist. He's like, yo, you need to come down. So they did like a live exorcism. So I'm pumped to see the vlog. I didn't go.
I would love to see that.
Pumped to see
I'm going to be watching that one.
Fuck yeah. And guys, we'll talk, but I'll get you guys some shirts.
Yes, please.
We got the merch, so I'll get you some. But, all right, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. But yeah, Levity, PJ, John. All right. This is Streaming Cassettes. Signing out. See you next week.